What is up, guys? We are back with another Michael Zombies video, and Joe's gun game is here. So, of course, we're going to be playing it. I've been waiting for this to actually come out for a while, and it did, so we're going to be playing it, of course. So consider dropping a like and subscribing, and we will get right into this. For my test game, I joined into an ongoing game, and it took 44 minutes, apparently. I don't believe it, but, you know, joining into an ongoing game, that's what they're going to tell you. So, obviously, we have to at least half that, and of course we have to win, because if you don't win, is it worth it? No. So we're going to be winning this. The update came out yesterday, releasing Joe's gun game and a few other changes. Nothing really major, but there are 4 new badges you can earn in Joe's gun game, so, you know, we're going to be trying to get a couple of those. Obviously, one of them is winning. I've already done that, so we're not going to get that one. But we're probably going to go through the others at some point and get those. And then, of course, Joe appears to be back on the team based on his January 3rd post where he actually dropped an update. So we are going to see Joe back on the team, I believe, based on this. You know, don't really know, but that's what it seems like. The other 3 badges are to disarm a landmine, which is pretty easy. You just shoot it. Accidentally trigger a landmine and explode, so you'd have to walk over someone else's landmine and then revive someone who doesn't have second life. So you need to down someone or pick up someone who's downed that got down by a zombie or another mine, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing too exciting about it. If you want to win, I wouldn't recommend that, but you know, that's up to you if you want to get the badge or not. Most guns are actually really satisfying using this game because they're either shotguns and are just OP, or some of the carbines are incredible for this because they can just one-shot things. And it just feels like a really well-balanced game so far. That's what I feel from playing it. I feel like it's pretty well-balanced. You can headshot most things in one shot. Obviously, when the Panzers get here, then things get a little bit more difficult. But for now, when you're just playing against zombies with a few other people in the game, it feels relatively balanced. Your biggest concern in this game should always be mines, because other people are going to place them, you're going to place them, don't get blown up by them, it will ruin your game. So I kind of just try to place a few mines, generally where I know where they are, and then just make sure that no one else is placing mines, because people are going to place mines all over, especially in like a really competitive lobby. This lobby wasn't overly competitive. I think there were maybe 1 or 2 people. I think being able to implement some sort of matchmaking would be really hard, but it would also be nice, because then you'd be able to get a more competitive lobby. But other than that, I believe that everything about this is pretty good. The guns, I don't have a complaint about any of them, except for the rocket launcher. That thing's terrible, and you gotta reload it all the time, and it's so slow and painful, and I hate everything about it. Yeah, but besides that, everything else is fine. And then having these PvE kind of competitive games leads me to think that there's a chance that you could see a PvP competitive game. Obviously, I don't know if that's what they plan on doing, but I do think that would be an interesting thing to do, because you have this as a PvE competitive game, so you could pull in a PvP competitive game, and I think that would be interesting. Maybe like a gun game PvP game instead of a PvE. Like, that there are just a lot of things that they can do with this now that they've introduced the idea of a competitive game. So you have the other maps, which are more of the work together, survive kind of games, and then you have this one, which is your PvE that's competitive with a little bit of PvP aspect with the mines. But that's where I kind of am interested to see what they do with that, because you could add a PvP gun game. Like, that's probably relatively easy to do. Obviously, that would come with a lot of balancing issues and map design issues that you'd have to balance out, so that way everything's even. But either way, I feel like that's definitely something that they could look into in the future, and definitely something I would be interested in. I do like the competitive style games. One thing that I would like to see fixed is kind of when you get a gun upgrade, when you promote, if you're scoping in with that gun, you will stay scoping in with the new gun, whether you want to be or not. So that's kind of, I don't know if it's an issue. It's more of a, yeah, it's happening, but you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So that's kind of my big thing right now, is that's like the only thing I'm seeing that is like an issue in any way. That, and the fact that you have to deal with the bazooka, it is just terrible. And you have to reload every single time, and if you don't have a fast reload, tough, because it takes forever to get past this gun. There are a total of 33 guns, and this one takes a minute, sometimes a minute and a half to get past. So if you're only spending like 20 minutes in the game, you're spending way too long on this gun, so I think either they should have a kill reduction or a faster reload. But other than that, it's the only gun that I really have an issue with. I like that most guns feel quick and easy to use, and you can actually get through them in like 30 seconds because it makes it feel like a really fast-paced game. So you don't actually realize how long you've been in the game. It just feels like you're having a lot of fun. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. It's just a good time. And then I believe when the leader gets to gun 25, I believe, is when Panzers start to spawn in. It might be a time thing. I don't really know. I believe it's when the leader gets to 25, though, is that Panzers start to spawn in. Because you'll see one coming up here, and they are definitely a menace to society. Basically, if I had to deal with a Panzer, I would not want to be on the flamethrower. However, that was not an option, and I got absolutely destroyed because that's how it works. So the flamethrower, not very good against the Panzer, but if you can kill a Panzer, you get 10 zombie kills. So definitely on like your final 2 guns, minus the pistol, don't use it on the pistol, just get 1 kill with it. On your final guns, you definitely want to go for Panzer kills. I mean, ray gun is very good against it, and especially the Wunderwaffe. I mean, it's a one-shot kill. Why not go for the big points? And then right here, basically my only competition gets down, gets back up, and then immediately runs into my other mine. So, you know, mines are OP, and now I have 0 competition, so I can just do whatever I want, basically. Kind of just, you know, test out guns, get to the finish line. There's no competition. And in these end of game situations, I really wish that there were more people in the game because it makes it more interesting. Because especially when there's 0 competition for me right now, just having the threat of mines up is just a really good thing, especially for the Wunderwaffe when you can't actually shoot them. So it just feels like you're missing something, kind of, having less people in it. There's just less threat, honestly. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the Panzer's giving, obviously, a little bit of a challenge, but also 10 points I definitely like. I don't know if it makes it easier to win if you're already on some of these good guns, because the only people who really test it are the people who have a ray gun or a Wunderwaffe. Like, you're not going at it with a shotgun for the most part. I mean, if you did, it's a bold move, but you usually aren't going to get away with that. And the Wunderwaffe is the only gun that takes anywhere near as long as the rocket launcher, the Panzerschreck, whatever you want to call it. It's the only gun that takes anywhere near as long because, well, there's just a lot more kills you have to get, and the reload's also kind of slow. So, obviously, I think it makes sense to have like your final challenging gun be a challenge and actually force people to, you know, take forever to reload and all that kind of stuff. And if you did like the video, consider dropping a like, subscribing, leaving a comment. I don't know, whatever. It took 1633 to beat it. I'm sure we could do better, but I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.